Good morning, friends. Happy
Friday.
Friday. I'm trying to get us live on Instagram, and I don't think this is live. So, bear with me a second, friends. Let's try this. Maybe it is live. I have no idea. But good morning, friends. Happy Friday. We haven't been here in a while.
Been a couple weeks. It's
It's been
going.
a
It's
couple
going.
weeks. No, it's
It
not
says
going.
it's active.
Oh, it is going. Okay. Well, you would not think he's the tech savvy one of the couple. He is not, but clearly I'm having struggles this morning. So, good morning, friends. We're back. Happy Friday. Oh, there's our most loyal
What's up,
viewer,
Brett?
Mr. Brett Passmore, who we actually are having dinner with tonight.
You were quick.
Are you gonna even acknowledge that I'm at dinner tonight, Brett? Or do you just want Harold to come? Should it just be a bromance?
We can make it that.
We can. Okay, so what is going on in the market? We pop on here every Friday, although we've been MIA for a few weeks, been a little crazy. So, Mr. Harold Betts, what do you want to tell our loyal viewers about what's going on in real estate today?
So just like we talked about before, the market is still cranking. We're still seeing multiple offers, a ton of showings, and a lot of good qualified offers on our listings. We're seeing come in.
Yeah.
It's a competitive market out there. So we are getting some more buyers that are coming our way that they want to think they can offer below or just kind of him haw, and then next thing you know, it's like they already accepted an offer, it's gone before they even submitted theirs. They're like, well,
Right.
I thought I could think about it. I'm like, you got 5 minutes or less.
I know, and that's so hard for buyers. What's your advice to
Right.
buyers? You're out there with so many buyers. Like, what's your advice to them right now?
Number one, definitely know where you want to live. Because if you're trying to lock that down, you are spinning your wheels and you are wasting a lot of time. So our big thing is always do your recon work in the neighborhoods you think you want to live in. Drive around on a
Yep.
Friday night, a Saturday night, during the day.
Yes.
Go to the grocery stores. Go see what restaurants are around, and you'll know if that community is going to work for you.
Absolutely. Research the schools in advance. Look at crime rates if that's important to you. Um, we're learning a lot within inside the industry that some of those school rating sites aren't the most reliable or accurate, and so we can't give you the advice on schools. So it's like you need to look up, the schools as far as go visit them or look on the district's website. Like do your own research because you don't have time to do it once you find the home you want. You need to do the research before you find the home you want.
And definitely look for the amenities you want. If you want to be close to the beach, but you can't afford the beach, look at the communities close enough that fit all your other needs. Or if you want hiking or mountain biking, maybe you want to be in South Orange County up in the hills. Um, know that because if you're trying to figure out where you want to live while you're looking at houses, it's going to take you a lot longer to decide. So my biggest thing is figure out where you want to live, focus on that area, and it makes it easier for us. I mean, we can't scour 100 cities
No.
trying to watch for a particular property, or even asking agents of other things.
Yeah, things that they
So,
might know
yeah.
about that are coming soon. Yeah. So, interest rates went up a little bit yesterday. Like, what the heck happened, Mr. Knowledge of the interest rates?
I
Something
haven't.
about they've changed the way that they're going to sell on the back end. They've changed their funding policy or something like that, is what I've read. It's all news to us, too. But rates did go up yesterday. Oh my God, you guys, they're at 3%.
Yeah. I know we had a buyer at one point. Granted, they're using a VA loan, but they locked in at a very low rate, and it's below 3. So I know their rates are still great. Um, and even if they go up to 3%, people in if you talk to people that have been in this industry for pretty much 30, 40 years, which is well beyond our life. Like I'm actually in an escrow with an agent that's been in the business for 42 years.
Mm-hmm.
When he got in the business, the interest rates were 12%, and within a couple of years they got up to 18. So, and that market was a good market.
Yeah.
So 3%, I view it as in real estate. That's as close to free money as you can get.
Exactly. That's what I say. Like 3% on a mortgage for 30 years is essentially free money.
Right.
When I started in real estate, rates were between 6 and 7%. Sometimes 8, 10 on a home equity line of credit or a second. So 6% or 3% in comparison is nothing. And I think the other thing people really have to understand is that because we're in such a low inventory environment, like severe inventory shortage, the next question we're getting asked all the time is when's the bubble going to burst? I'm not buying, I'm going to wait. The reality is there is no bubble, friends. When buyers are willingly paying extraordinary amounts over asking price, that's not a bubble, right? The issue, and everyone needs to be really, 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 really clear on what happened in between 2005 and 2007 if you weren't around. There was so much oversupply at that time. There was what's the right word, appraisals, inflated appraisals. There was
Just go for the qualifications.
irresponsible lending guidelines. I mean, I will always remind you all of a client that I had that was a bus driver, that wrote a part-time bus driver for a private school, who wrote down that he was making $175,000 a year, and the bank believed it because it was something called stated income. You can't do that anymore. You know, conversely, even if you do an alternative loan, and there are a few out there, we call them deposit loans, bank statement loans, and that's where they verify your deposits over like 3 years and they average them. You still have to prove you're making the money. And so the irresponsible lending guidelines are just not happening anymore. People are putting down very large down payments. Now, do I predict that when things calm down and these forbearances come out of protection, that we're going to have a lot of sales that are caused by the pandemic? Yes, I do. I do think we're going to have a lot of people who say, you know what, I can't afford my home anymore. But they're not going to be underwater. And that's what the difference between now and then. We are not going to see prices drop. Prices would have to drop like 50% practically for some people to be underwater with how much equity people have gained through this pandemic.
Right. I mean, at least in our area, I would say last year, I think we finished out about between 12 and 13% gain in equity. And already currently this year, we're already up another 10%. So literally in 16 months, that's 22% increase. I mean, if you got lates going on the backside, you are not increasing your owed amount that quickly.
No, absolutely not. So, is there a bubble? I don't think so. Harold doesn't think so. And every economist that has anything to do with real estate does not think so. And that's probably the biggest indicator, is that, some things are going to happen. Inflation's going to hit. We're going to see rates eventually go up. Do I think prices are going to stabilize eventually? Yes. The question is, when do they stabilize?
Right. And the one thing is, once inflation hits, which we know it is, I mean, you hear it talked about with a lot of the economists. If you're locked into your 3% interest rate, it stays. Everything else goes up, but your mortgage stays. Yeah. So if you are thinking about refining or even buying, now's the time. Get in, lock in that rate. It is a fixed rate for 30 years. If you want to pay it off sooner, go right ahead.
And we have solutions for you. I mean, that's the thing. People are so scared to buy a home right now because they're scared to get in the market. They think it's inflated, but then they're just sitting back watching prices just continue to rise. We have an agent in our own brokerage who has been on the fence about selling her home, and she just can't decide, and she didn't want to overpay for what she's purchasing. But then she's also smart to watch that her clients that bought a year ago have already made, in some cases, $40,000, $50,000 in equity in 1 year. 1 year, if not more. And she's like, if I wait, all I'm doing is waiting for rates to go up, which is going to cost me more money every month, and prices still continue to rise. And even if prices flatline and rates go up, it's still costing her more to buy that same home. So the best thing we always say is that a 30-year fixed mortgage is your best hedge, your best bet on inflation. I mean, that is the best way to secure financial stability and not have to worry about inflation, is if you buy when the rates are low and you lock yourself in. Now, no, I don't suggest going and getting a adjustable rate mortgage. There's no reason to right now. Right. Yes, the rates are lower. You can get like 1.5%, but there's no reason to. Why would you do that? Why would you take a risk that rates might not be the same in 3 to 5 years? So next topic of the day is open houses. You know that we haven't been allowed to do open houses per the California Department of Public Health guidelines for over a year, since late March of 2020. Right. We have not been, I wouldn't say legally, but it's been against the public health order, which then would be against our code of ethics that we adhere to, that we cannot do them. We couldn't do them at all. And quite frankly, a lot of realtors were happy about that because honestly, friends, open houses can be a grind for us. We're giving up our afternoon with our families, time to be with other clients, and sellers. It's interesting to hear sellers' opinions because sellers have also been very honest with us that they're like, hey, I don't like the idea of strangers coming through my home. I thought I had to do an open house because that's what y'all did. But the reality is, we've kind of proven to ourselves and the public that you don't need to do an open house to sell a home. But now they are legally allowed again. That was lifted a week ago. So if you see a lot of open houses in California this weekend, that's why they're back. I have some agents doing some this weekend. But we're always curious, and we would love your input on what you think about them. Right. If you were selling your home and you're a consumer, and you know for the last 15 months we've not done open houses and we've had the best real estate market we've ever seen, would you want complete strangers coming through your home? Now be prepared. If you do journey through any open houses this weekend, you will have to sign either an entry form or a sign-in sheet called the property sign-in sheet created by the California Association of Realtors. That's part of the new public health order, and it basically says that you're not sick, you're agreeing you're not sick, and you're saying that you'll abide by any local guidelines, which means wearing a mask, hand sanitizer, whatever the homeowner really asks you to do. Another controversial topic that's come up that we've talked about is I'm obviously involved in a lot of industry inside information and conference calls and video calls with brokers across the state of California. And I guess in some of the Northern California areas, there's sellers that are dictating in the private remarks that you must be vaccinated and provide proof of vaccination before you can visit their home. And the question was, is that legal? And according to the California Association of Realtors legal counsel, yeah, it's legal because guess what? That seller, it's their private home. They can ask you to do whatever they want. And then it's your choice to go look at it or not. Now, I haven't seen that in the MLS. No, have you seen that at all? I have not seen that. I have not seen that, and I would not recommend my sellers go that direction. I would recommend if my sellers are really concerned and the mask mandate gets lifted, then just require people to wear masks, which you can absolutely do, right? Require 2 people in the house at a time, which you can absolutely do. Require your realtor to wipe down things. You can do that. There's ways to still be safe without requiring people to provide proof of vaccination. Right. How do you think your buyers would react to that?
I think most would say just skip the property. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to waste my time. So
yeah, I think it depends on the person and if they're vaccinated or not. But did you see on the news today? Although you probably didn't because you don't get up as early as me. But on the news today, they're now having vaccine lotteries and bribing people to get vaccinated in states and giving them bonuses and entering them into contests. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Just let people get vaccinated if they want to get vaccinated. That's my opinion. As far as our industry, it's besides the open house news, it has been quiet, thank goodness. Prop 19 began, and we're starting to see some seniors take advantage of that. So again, if you know anyone 55 and over in the state of California, the world's kind of opened up for them as far as selling their home and taking their property tax basis with them. We have some concerns at a national level that the 1031 exchange might become disallowed, which would be a huge blow to real estate across the United States and investments. So if you're an investor and you're thinking about doing a 1031 exchange, you might want to think about it sooner rather than later. No idea when it would go into effect. No idea if anything would be retroactive. No details on that yet. We will get more details. National Association of Realtors is on this like you would not believe. And the other thing that looks like it might be changing is the long-term capital gains rate, which would really, I know you're shocked, right? Yeah. Would really affect, this is what happens when Barb has friends in the industry, would really affect some people that have held properties for a very, very long time. It would go back to your ordinary income rate and your basically short-term capital gains rate. I know. So just know that that's part of why I volunteer so much. It's why we're so involved in the industry. It's why I travel. It's why I go to all these events and network with all these realtors, because I have this vast knowledge of what's going on nationwide and not just locally. Locally is extremely important, but we're also connected very locally as well. So
no, locally is definitely important, but the national connection and being in with the lobbyists, that is going to affect buyers and sellers drastically the most financially.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to everything. And all I know is that my passion is protecting private property rights, creating home ownership opportunities. So, we always talk about in my associations and the people that I network with about how we always talk about private property rights, and that means homeowners. Well, we also have to focus, and we are passionate. We need to talk more about the work we do to create housing for people that want to own housing. So, creating affordable housing, creating more inventory. All of that is to help renters get out of where they are and move into housing, hopefully create more affordable low income housing to help some of our people that currently are living in circumstances that aren't favorable with other families, who can't afford to move into a rental, right? So when you create that housing for renters to move into, you then free up that rental stock for people that maybe need help to get into something of their own shelter. So shelter is, I think, what's most important to us. It's not just about owning a home, it's about having a roof to live under. And I think that a lot of us, in my opinion, take that for granted, and just don't understand what it's like to not have shelter.
It's the most important thing.
Right? I always say back in the pandemic, we were asked to shelter in the exact same thing that we sell. And that's what kind of made real estate this unique product through the pandemic is we were told to stay at home. We were told to stay inside. And we happen to sell that product that you were asked to stay inside for. So,
and a lot of people realized that where they were living wasn't where they wanted to be.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Or did not fit their needs when they were actually at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I remember you made the joke in April, I think. We were driving to pick up dinner. The streets were empty. And you made the joke about 3-bedroom, 1 baths aren't going to be so popular after the pandemic. Everyone's going to want 2 toilets. And for those of you in other parts of the country, we do have lots of 1-bathroom homes.
Yes.
That's how our homes were built. So we always say, do you want 2 bathrooms or 2 toilets? Because that's a different conversation, right?
It is.
Usually it's 2 toilets. So what else? Anything else?
I think that's it going on in the industry right now.
Well, I hope you all have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. Again, if you need any help in Southern California, Harold and I are happy to be a resource for you. If you know friends or family who are looking to move, buy or sell, and want people like us who know what we're talking about, involved in the industry, up on every topic around, and are really great at what we do, we would love an introduction or connection into our realtor friends across the United States. If you need anything in Southern California, or frankly anywhere in California, sometimes it's hard to look at a map and know who to call. I'm very well connected. We know a ton of realtors in the state of California as well as across the nation, and we're happy to always connect you, even if it's an area we do not serve. So that's it.
That's it.
All right. Have a happy Friday, friends. Brett, if you're still here, I'll see you for dinner. All right. Bye, friends.